The very first thing which I want all of you guys to start doing is start preparing for those questions which are obvious. And on top of that, you can do some additional search, like just try to Google data science interview questions. So the moment you say data science interview questions, so all the commonly asked interview questions and their answers will appear in this search. Now, at this point, there is a lot to explore in machine learning and AI world. So you may feel that there are certain concepts which are looking like alien to me, but do not bother. If your basics are at place, if you read about them, you'll be able to follow. So the top 10 links which comes after this search, you should not be alien to any one of those concepts. At least you must be aware of what it is. If you are not an expert, at least you should be aware and do not get caught in the interview off guard that you absolutely don't know what it is. So in order to expand your overall knowledge breadth, you should start reading these interview questions. So this is the first thing you need to do before you even jump onto interviews, because this will cover up at least the 60-70% of the theoretical questions. Like if a candidate comes to me, apart from evaluating them on project and everything, I need to also check that whether they know the other basics of machine learning or not. So the project will revolve around only one concept, like two or three algorithms and some generic concepts. But what about other fields? Do you have basic knowledge about other fields or not? So to evaluate that, 60%, like 6 or 7 out of 10 questions would be theoretical kind. I'll ask, okay, what is this? For example, what is r squared? What is the apt value of r squared do you look at? How did you measure the accuracy? Why this made confusion matrix? Why did you not choose the overall accuracy measure? Then what is p value? How do you read it? What is null hypothesis? What is false positive? What happens when false negative increases? So all these are cross questions, from basic statistics to some advanced level algorithms. All of that is just to check whether you have exposure to these or not. You may not be able to understand, let's say, some of the concepts right now from artificial neural networks or face detection, etc., but at least if you read, you will get the concept. You are familiar with that concept. Okay. So this familiarity is very important. You can always answer in an interview if you don't know a concept, that I know this, I have studied a little bit about this, and if required, I can read up and I can scale up on it. So that attitude that you are ready to learn, that is what you need to showcase. Okay. The next most important thing and the most neglected thing which I have seen is people do not prepare about this question. This is a sure shot question which you'll be asked in an interview. You all know this, and still most of us will never prepare for this question, right? We will think that okay, we'll go there and we'll just introduce ourselves. We'll talk about my overall education and quickly introduce my name again, which is obvious mistake, and just blabber something. So this question can actually make or break your interview. The reason is psychology. First impression is the last impression. Creating a very positive impression in the first introduction itself, you have just increased your chances of getting selected. Because if you have made the right impression and you have the skill sets, I will just try to find reasons to select you. So I'll just try to confirm that okay, whether you know predictive modeling or not, whether you know machine learning or not. So the key for this question is prepare and write down a 1 minute introduction. In this 1 minute introduction, do not start from where you were born or where did you do your schooling. Nobody cares about that. What is your latest degree? From latest degree to, if you have any work experience or internship, work or internship. Okay, you can talk about that, or you can directly talk about how did you shift it to machine learning, like from where did you reach into this space of machine learning. So you need to showcase this journey that when you began, you were having a degree just like every other person, and then you got introduced to the concept of machine learning, and then you thought it is interesting, you want to work in this field, and you took training. So let me add clearly that you took training, and it's not bad to say that I took training from some institute. It's very good actually, because you are choosing something on your own, and then you got an opportunity. So this opportunity, it can be in place of any internship you got in an organization or the current project which you are working on. So when you choose to change it and you showcase this in your introduction, you have created the biggest plus point which every recruiter wants to see. Every 5 years the technology will change, the trends will change. Today you have learned Python. After 5 years there might be a different language, let's say Go or Julia. You don't know which one will click, and at that point of time you need to learn those if you want to survive. So if you show that you did not start with machine learning, but today it's the ask of the hour, so you have learned it and you have successfully applied it. Now successful application can be on a project which is in your company if you are a working professional, or any internship, or any open data sets in Kaggle or the data government website or anywhere. If you are able to successfully apply what you have learned, that is the demonstration of the capability that you can do the same thing in this organization also, for my project also. And if you show that capability, and especially I'm talking about freshers, if I get two candidates, one is fresher and one is 5 years experienced, and they both have the same capability, I will always prefer a fresher. The industry will always prefer a fresher because of less cost. Okay, of course the 5 year experience will have some pros as well, but if the position we have to fill is for a junior data scientist, then of course the fresher will be preferred, because a lot of issue starts occurring at the project management level when you do not have budget. So they try to eliminate costly resources, and they try to keep freshers in the project. Now Subhashri has a query: as an experienced professional, how much experience should we show the experience we got from this training? Okay, so typically I recommend, based on the amount of training and the practical work knowledge we have discussed, you can stand head to head with a person with 1 or 1.5 years of experience in machine learning. You can show this safely. You can show this safely in your current project. You can showcase that you have been working since last 1 to 1.5 years in machine learning. And how to show that? That is the next question. I'll describe that. In the job descriptions that only engineering background is preferred or this or that, you can still try to apply and showcase that you have really worked on the projects. But if the recruiter is blind, then yeah, I agree that there is some disparity over there, that people kind of create stereotypes. But if they think also, they will realize that it does not matter if the person has learned and applied the concept successfully. Okay, so economics background or not, it in practice does not matter, but at some places you will face discrimination. But that is fine, because you are entering into a different field altogether, so there will be some resistance you will face, but you will get your chance in some companies. Okay, I want to acknowledge that yes, there will be resistance. So you can show this much, of experience in your resume. And how do you show? Another question. This is the first thing, this is the second thing, third thing is, till this point you are controlling the interview. The first question is obvious question, we know. The second question is also an obvious question which we know, because when you will describe your journey, you will also describe that what are the kind of projects you have implemented in last 1 or 1.5 years, that you have worked on this particular background, this that particular background, or this industry or that industry. You will describe some problem statements. So out of those problem statements which you have solved and put down in your resume, you will be asked for the description of at least one project out of them, and from there the discussion will begin. So how do you describe your recent project? And this is also an art. because I can quickly differentiate between a fresher and an experienced person with the way they are describing their project. So what is the problem statement? So if you have put down a project in your resume which talks about loan classification. So the problem statement, you need to describe that I helped a banking organization to screen bad loans or good loans based on a supervised machine learning classification algorithm, and it helped the uh, clients to improve their classification accuracy by 5%. So without the model, the without model, the accuracy was, let's say, 65%. They were doing this manually, and with model, it's now 70%. So you have done a great job. So 70% accuracy alone can be misunderstood sometimes. So you try to compare with the existing accuracy and you have bought an increase in it. Now, this is possible if you have a legitimate project, correct? If you do not have a project, then what do? Two scenarios. Either you are a working professional or you are a fresher. I'll talk about both, that how do you put these accuracy numbers, okay? So let me first tell the flow. So what is the problem statement? How did it help? Then what machine learning techniques did you use? And then the algorithm. Like techniques, ML techniques means clustering as a whole, or classification as a whole, supervised regression as a whole. What technique was used to solve the problem statement? And then which typical algorithm, whether you have used linear regression or decision trees or any other algorithm to fit the data. An experienced person will talk in terms like 1, 2, and 3, and a fresher will always talk about 3, 2, and 1. So try to showcase the maturity level by talking about the problem statement and the business outcomes, because this is what mature people or experienced people will answer in their interviews. Now, how the project comes to you? So you need to change your current resume and put down at least, if you want to show 1 to 1.5 years in machine learning, a person who is really working in the organization in machine learning will have at least two major projects. This will consist like 6 months or 8 months, okay, for 4 months or 3 months and 5 months. Typically, a journey of a machine learning project is anywhere between 1 quarter to 2 quarters, okay, or sometimes even a year if it is a huge project and it is going on in phases. So this is what happens in every data science resume with 1 to 1.5 years of experience, and additionally you do some proof of concepts. What is this proof of concept? So the clients will give you some sample data and they will say, can you prove that your model works for our data? Can you prove, or can you show us a working example? So you create a working example in a short time. This is known as proof of concept. So multiple proof of concepts would be there in any data science resume. At least 5 to 6 proof of concepts will be there minimum. Why it takes so much time? You can do this in one day, right? You can create predictive model in one day. So why it takes time and why the time is given is project timeline. Let's discuss that. So as a fresher, you do not have that bar. You can show as many projects as possible, but do not overflow it. Try to keep it somewhere below 5, the major models which you have implemented, and then 1 or 2 small projects or algorithms you can put down. So what it will do, it will fill up the keywords, all the algorithms which you have used in these two major projects. Like if you have done linear regression, if you have done a regression model, so you can showcase that I have used multiple linear regression, decision trees, and random forest. If you have implemented clustering, then you have implemented k-means or hierarchical clustering or anything else which you have learned and additionally implemented. So all these are keywords which will start appearing in your resume. So you as a fresher, sweetie, as a fresher, you need to provide the implementations which you have done on open data sets from Kaggle or any other source, and that will showcase that you have applied what you have learned on new things. And if you can apply it independently on new things, then you can do the same thing for my organization also. So you need to be aware of the project timelines. How it works is, typically when a project comes, okay, it's not like today the project came and immediately I have to solve and give it back to the client tomorrow. This is not how it works, because there is a whole set of activities which needs to be performed. First is always the problem definition, data understanding. So this is typically done in a week, okay, 1 week's time or 2 weeks time sometimes, to interact with the client, understand their problem, and then decide whether we need to do regression or classification or what, or clustering. You need to understand their problem statement, what they want to solve. Not every customer wants to just predict a number. Some might want to do certain classification, some might want to create certain clusters of data. You never know. So you need to understand your client's requirement first. This takes time to interact with them, to read their documents and to understand the problem. It's not like they will come with a ready to build modeling document that, hey, I have this problem, you use this algorithm and please give me the result. If they were capable of doing that much, they won't even give the project to you. They can run the algorithms, because that is the part which is automated these days, fitting the model. So it's, as a data scientist, this is most important section. Then your data exploration, collectively called as EDA, where you look at the data, find out target variable, look at the skewness, you treat the data, you prepare the data. There will be 100 challenges over there. Sometimes the data is not coming properly, it is not matching with the database, the query is wrong, the people who gave you the data, they have missed out a filter. So 10 different things happen when you start working in an organization with others, because you are dependent on others for the data. So this also takes some time. So typically what we allocate in any project is around 4 weeks maximum. It can be less than this, but at max 4 weeks we allocate this for EDA, or understanding the data and prepping the data. You might be creating some more information. You might be taking some more information, additional information, from some external website. Let's say you thought that, okay, this is one more feature of weather which can affect this particular use case of, let's say, ice cream sales you are building. So you might want to import the temperature data from AccuWeather or some other website. So all of that takes time, right? Sometimes you don't even know how to do that. So you will require some extra buffer to work on this, correct? If the condition arises. So we keep some buffer also over here. Okay. Clients will provide just the basic data which they have. If you want to add some external data, you have to bring that data. You will be lucky if you ask the client and they kind of provide it to you by spending money, because collating data they will have to pay to some organization. If you can get that data, same data, by doing some research or finding out an API which can give you the data free of cost, then you are doing an help. So clients might not be always motivated to spend money for extra data. So this EDA takes some time. Now after this EDA, your data is ready for machine learning. So you try multiple algorithms. Then when you are trying the models, it's not like you have just executed and then done. You will try to see that, can I increase the accuracy by certain combinations? Can I try different combinations of hyperparameter? Is it helping? Then let me try some standardization or normalization techniques. Is this helping? Let me take the logarithm of these two columns. So all those experiments, you don't know which one will work, right? It's purely an open field. So all those experiments needs to be done, and that also takes time. Once the model is finalized which you want to deploy, then integration efforts are taken. What integration? I have created my model, it's my Jupyter notebook, take it. That's not how it works. Integration means front end. There might be a front end like Java front end, or there might be a Tableau front end. So how do you put your models into these front ends? How do you integrate? So you put the results into a database. From the database they pick. So you need to, yeah, API. So you need to interact with the other teams also. You need to work with other teams to integrate your models output into these front ends. So that is also time taking activity, somewhere around 2 weeks. It is highly underestimated, and things go wrong in 10 different ways when you try to integrate your code with others. Okay, so that also must be solved. QA testing. Obviously, there will be a testing team. Once your code is integrated, once it is visible on the dashboard, then the QA team will see whether the numbers are sensible or not. If they are not sensible, they'll question you why you are predicting such value. You will have to give explanation. And if you have made a mistake in the model, you have to correct it. All of that also take time. Around sometimes it may take 3 weeks or 4 weeks also, because of a lot of to and fro. So all these activities takes time. If it is a small project, then it can be very well wrapped, as you can see, in 1 quarter, like 3 months. And if it is a bigger project, then the same activities will start taking more and more time, just double the timelines. So using these timelines, how many projects you are going to put in this fashion in your resume? At least two major and 5 6 proof of concepts, tiny projects. So in major projects, you can choose a regression project, or two regression projects, or two classification projects, or one regression and one classification project. You choose whatever you are comfortable in. And then some additional projects, like put one for clustering, put one for time series, put one for principal component analysis. So all those things which you have learned, try to put them as proof of concepts. Understood? So that the keyword count in your resume will increase. Now, how will you find the project? Let us discuss about that. So two cases: either you are a fresher or you are a experienced person. So for fresher, it's pretty easy, because they have only one option: go to the data repositories like Kaggle and UCI ML, and try to find a unique data set. Guys, try to stand out. Do not just use a data set which is popular and used by everyone, and there is an answer available for that data set. Try to find out a data set which is kind of unique, which is something not everyone is using. Try to stand out and use that, and as I said, struggle with that data to solve it by looking at the problem statement, and then write the whole journey. Write the whole journey in your resume, that you struggled with so and so problems while cleansing the data, and then how did you created the model, how did you finally created the output, and how did you deploy the model. So all that journey, whatever you have done with the data, how did you create it, and what was the accuracy of the model, you can put. So for fresher, it's pretty easy. Okay, just try to be unique. That's it. Do not aim for simple data sets. Is that clear? Yes. Now for experienced people, I always recommend that do not show external data sets. You can actually take external data sets and mend it or change it in a way that it looks like it's from your current project. Always modify your current project as a machine learning project, so that you can add it in your story while you are introducing yourself, that I have learned it, I've taken training, and then got an opportunity in my current project to work on a machine learning use case. So it adds up. Most of the people who have really worked in the organization in machine learning, they have the same journey. Even I had the same journey. I got trained, I took training just like you guys, and then I got an opportunity to work on machine learning, and there it started. So that's how you have to showcase your journey as well, that you got an opportunity. And I know it is you are kind of lying, to be frank, in your latest resume, but most of the resumes are filled with lies. The only thing you are telling is you're just trying to justify that yes, I have worked on it hands on. And how will you actually justify it? Because you will actually build the model. Do not put any project in your resume unless and until you have executed it hands on. So when I'm saying modify your current project, what I'm trying to say, you can really think about a problem statement in your current project which can help your client. Let's say, okay, it could be a regression problem or classification problem or clustering problem, anything you can think of in the current project which can help your client, help the businesses. Try to get data for it. If let's say you don't have access to data in your current project, then try to find a similar data on internet, on Kaggle or on UCIML, and then take that data, maybe rename the columns as per your project's data columns, and then start working end to end on top of that data, and then write that journey. So when the cross questions will come, about data, about the domain, about the project, you will have all those answers ready because you are working in that project. And that's the biggest plus point because you will not blabber, correct? You have already worked on that project, so you know in and out of at least domain. You can answer some questions from there. So it helps you to build credibility while you describe your projects in which you are actually working. Okay, so it actually shows differently in your confidence. So I always recommend to all the experienced people who are working right now to showcase your current project as a machine learning project. Is that clear? All right. So once this is done, now you are ready for the most crucial section. You are ready. Once you have done this homework, you are ready for the most crucial questions in your interview. Whether you are confident or not, first impression, and whether you have really worked on data or not. I understand by the answers you give in the second question in tell me about your recent project. And after this, where will the interview go? It will go towards the direction of the algorithms you have written. If you have written you have worked on decision tree, my next question would be how a decision tree works, why it is different from linear model, so different about decision trees, or why I should choose it. All these kind of cross question. What is max depth? What parameters did you use, etc., etc. So all the cross questions regarding machine learning or some way to check your understanding of your concepts will start arising from here onwards. But just think about it. This whole thing will consist of at least 20 minutes for which you know the answer, and he or she, the person who is taking the interview, they don't know the answer. They will accept whatever you will have to say. If you can answer these 20 minutes with confidence, then you have increased your chances of getting selected. Okay, so prepare well. This is in your hands. Do not let these questions just slip away. Every website which offers job. And anything else which you know. So any website which is offering jobs, you should put your resume over there. And what people don't realize is once again a psychological gimmick. Each of these websites have easy apply option. You click on it and all the details are taken from your personal details, and then it is sent to the recruiter. Do not do that. You will get emails also for jobs. So reply to emails with your resume. So how it works is, as an HR is also human and they are lazy. If somebody gives them the ye wala, you have this matching resume, take this. So they will always prefer it, right? It is saving their time and effort to go to a particular platform, search for candidates, filter a candidate, so on and so forth. But if you take all the information like current CTC, expected CTC, and where you are working, preference location, total experience, relevant experience, all these details in that email, which they have asked in the job emailer, the broadcast which comes, they will kind of feel motivated to call you back. And I have experienced this firsthand. I've changed 5 companies and have attended hundreds of interviews. I have this first-hand experience that if I start replying to emails, they call me back eventually. Okay, so please do the same thing, and you will create more opportunities for yourself. Okay, then how will you get those emails regarding machine learning? So the moment you will change your resume, you will have lot of keywords now in your resume because you have mentioned supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, etc., etc., all the models which you have worked on, put everything. So now since you have a lot of keywords in your resume, your resume will start getting shortlisted. Apart from that, what you have in your resume, fill all of those in your skill set matrix as well. Like R, Python, predictive modeling, decision tree. So the moment you start typing these keywords, some additional recommendations will come, like time series will come, or linear regression will start popping up. So select all those skills, select all those keywords and put it in your skill set matrix. Update it completely, because when recruiters search, they will match, they will get your profile matching because of these keywords only. It's all keyword search. So make sure the keywords are present in your profile. Is that clear, everyone? I know this is all hard work. You have to sit down, you have to really do this. And that is why most of us do not have a good profile, because laziness. Now, while this is going on, while you are struggling with your resume, while you're struggling with the interviews, while you are taking on interviews, failing in some, answering in some, realizing that, oh, I knew this and I could not remember in some, meanwhile you keep reading. But two books which I swear by every time, which has helped me in my journey, is Head First, Statistics, ISLR. I hope most of you know these books. These two are the books. If you read them completely, then you are in a very good position to clear any machine learning interview. And few people have this inhibition of statistics and mathematics. So please read this book. It's very fun and it's very like life changing, you can say. And then after this, ISLR can be considered as the Bible of machine learning. All the concepts which you need to succeed in the field of AI and machine learning is present in this book. And it will not get finished in 1 month, not even 2 months. You will require at least 6 months to read this book, at least, if you want to thoroughly understand. So it will not complete soon. So slowly keep reading this in the parallel. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time.